I am a Gye-Nyame man. I was born for greatness. My greatness comes from my potent sinner. I pledge to find and connect with my sinner. I pledge to build my spirit, mind, and body. I pledge to use my hands to build a better world for myself, my loved ones, and my community. I pledge to use my mind to think deeper, further, and higher to create a better reality for myself. I pledge to live my life and go beyond all my self-imposed limitations. I pledge to promote the principles of the Gye-Nyame warrior and to assist all those seeking the path of success. I pledge all these things first to myself, my teachers, to all my relations, and to my higher power. I am Gye-Nyame. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. That is the Gye-Nyame pledge that is said by all of our true members at least once a day. Peace and welcome to our YouTube channel. Check out our videos and podcasts. Subscribe as well as join the journey. Push past your self-imposed limitations within the Gye-Nyame journey. Peace.
Hey, this brother Hatim. Hope the sound is good, man. For some reason, my mic, and I just switched the mics, and I don't know what that's gonna do. I don't know how it sounds. I wonder if let me look. I gotta listen to myself. Excuse me. I gotta listen to myself. You see, it's hard to listen up and talk, but hey, it's what it is. All right, now. Taking that off because that's irritating as hell. All right, now, I am on the show, man, and I am happy to be here. I know it's some quick news I need to run through, but one of the things that was kind of sticking in my craw today is this whole Nate Parker thing. I know I'm late, because I like to take my time with shit. You know what I'm saying? I believe that good stuff gets better with time. Right? And I have to think about it because I just don't want to be one of those that's just jumping out here and being angry, right? Being mad, the black man, somebody always trying to hold us down, And so I heard Lovely T, shouts out to Lovely T, heard her talk about it. She did a real good piece on it. I heard Thought Crimes, Prince Solomon, and Sincere Ignorance. They did their damn thing on it. And I mean, they they whooped it. I don't, I just have to come with the questions because I'm like, and it's sort of like on that Bill Cosby shit because it's sort of like, why now? I mean, why now? We heard about him struggling to put this movie together. Why now? Why not after the Great Debaters? Why not after Red Wing? You know what I'm saying? Now I got that. I mean, because Lovely T did an excellent piece on it, and the questions I'm asking, because it's like this, man. It's like this, right? We have a monumental movie coming out, and I know some of y'all, because now some of y'all out there, man, how dare he, right? How dare he brings up the fact of this movie? I got to bring up the fact about the movie because I find it fucking suspicious that this man is under attack when he about to drop a Nat Turner movie. I mean, and I know this has got to be running through some of y'all heads, right? You know what I'm saying? Not discounting it, but this shit happened when he was 19 years old. He went to trial and he was basically he was acquitted. Now, I have another problem with how is it that when black men go before the justice system and win the goddamn case, they could lose a civil trial? How can it be a civil trial after you've been proven guilty? I mean, after you've been proven innocent, right? You know what I'm saying? So after he went to trial, after he was acquitted, found innocent, right? And I mean, because I know he played a part in it. But after the court had its say, right? When the court has its say about abortion, we could disagree, but we gotta listen. After the court had its say about Brown versus the Board of Education, right? People disagree, but we had to carry that shit through because it was the law of the land. The law said that this man is innocent. You go back, you can pull up all the documents you fucking want. The documents say, the judge at that time said that he was innocent. And I know some of y'all, because some of y'all real good arguers, and this is what some of y'all do. So some of y'all already thinking about how to bring this back on me. Because Brother Hatim, you said this a while ago, and Brother Hatim, you know what I'm saying? I hear you, right? But my piece is, I have a movie that I believe is coming out that for some reason, someone don't want it to come out. Is there something in this movie that they don't want you to see? You know what I'm saying? Because for them to come out like this, they're coming out guns blazing. You know what I'm saying? Actually, I don't give a fuck about the artist. I want the art. Y'all can have the artist. Y'all can do what y'all want with the artist. I want the art. I want to see what this man did with Nat Turner. I want other people to learn about Nat Turner because these young motherfuckers can say Django, but they can't say Nat Turner. I need them to be able to say Nat Turner. I need them to see Nat Turner. I need them to see what frustration looks like. I need them to see what black men come together to do the damn thing. I want them to see what it look like. See, because a lot of y'all only think that we only could think in terms of violence. But I want to bring a crew together like Nat Turner, right? Let's hit the business. I want to bring a crew together like Nat Turner. Let's hit the books. I want to bring a crew. See, I want that avenging spirit. See, because you got to understand, when you start reading and learning about the story about Nat Turner, you start to see that this dude believed that he was the vessel of God. This dude felt God was talking to him and that this was his destiny. Now, whether you agree with what he did or not, what I want you to see, And what I want you to understand, and what I want my young folks to see, and what I want my young folks to understand, and what I want the journeyers to see, and what I want the journeyers to understand, is that regardless of whether or not you agree with his methods, I want you to get the mind state. We got to see the mind state. And I want to see how this man portrayed the mind state of Nat Turner. I want to hear Nat Turner's sermon. Right? See, because a lot of y'all just like, brother Tim, you on that violent shit. No, I could get violent. I ain't never really been on no violent shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I will fight. You know what I'm saying? I will kill. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't never been on that. You know what I'm saying? I'm always like, we can find other ways to work this shit out. But what I need people to do is grab the mind state. This man believed without a shadow of a doubt that he was handpicked by God to do what he did. I got a question for you. When you getting up in the morning to go to work, do you believe that you was handpicked to do the shit that you do? Because if you don't believe, if you don't have that Nat Turner attitude about your shit, right? That Nat Turner belief, that Nat Turner mind state, right? You always gonna lose. See, we had an individual that threw it all on the line. He was very clear about what he had to lose. The only thing he had to lose was his life. That's it. That's it. He broke it down. He got to the true equation of life. He overcame the great denominator of death. He balanced out the equation of insanity. And he worked it to a point of where he said freedom or death. Very simple. And was able to accept that. Can you apply that mind state to what you're doing? Right? I got all these young journeyers, and some of y'all have been doing this music. Is it success and that or death? Got some of y'all talking about being entrepreneurs, whether you're talking about doing accounting, whether you're talking about the maid services, whether you're talking about nation building, whether you're talking about youth programs, whether we're talking about schools, whether we're talking about hair care and health, whether we're talking about diet. You know what I'm saying? Do we have a do all or die? See, this is a mind state, right? This is a mind state. This is a mind state that won't allow you to sleep. It won't allow you to slumber. It won't allow you to slip. You see, that's what I want to see. Hell with the artist. See, a lot of y'all get caught up into the code of personality rather than listen to the message. Right? A lot of y'all get caught up into the Honorable Minister Farrakhan and missed the message. A lot of y'all got caught up in Elijah Muhammad and you missed the message. A lot of y'all get caught up in Marcus Garvey and missed the message. A lot of y'all got caught up in the personality of Martin Luther King and missed the message. A lot of y'all got caught up in the personality of Malcolm X and missed the message. Right? A lot of y'all want to get caught up in Nat Turner and miss the message. A lot of y'all get caught up in Jesus and miss the message. A lot of y'all get caught up in Muhammad and miss the message. Y'all arguing about shit that don't even matter. Y'all mad about shit that don't even matter. Y'all disagreeing about shit that don't even matter. You don't got the mind state. Right? The mind state. The same mind state that Nat Turner had is the same mind state that Muhammad had when he brought Islam. It's the same mind state that Jesus had. It's the same mind state that Martin Luther King had. It's the same mind state that Booker T. Washington had. It's the same mind state. And many of y'all are slacking, right? And because you get caught up in the person, because you get caught up in the artist, you miss the art. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is this, yo. Hey, y'all can do what y'all want with the brother, right? But, if this movie is good, we got a responsibility, y'all. My kids are gonna learn about Nat Turner before they learn about Django. Get that goddamn right. Right? We got a movie that possibly could change lives. Why? Because it shows somebody throwing off the shackles that hold us where we are. It's fear. It's fear. That's the last step. It's fear. Right? It's fear. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this society has become so good. The oppressors that are with us right now have become so good at just weaving tales of terror and death. They got us believing that, if we just be good, we be able to live another day. Many of us have settled for living another day rather than dying for a dream. I want y'all to understand that. I want you to understand what you sell when you bargain like that. When you bargain for another day rather than your dream. Give up one more day. What do we give up? What do we surrender? Right? And I know this all started about Nate Parker, but y'all got to understand, man, my ancestors listen. My ancestors, dog, listen to me, man. Everything is everything. So we can go and talk about Nate Parker's case, right? We can talk about Nate Parker's case, right? We can talk about Bill Cosby's case. My question is, what's more important, the artist or the art? Artists create for eternity. So regardless of how fucked up the artist might be or may have been, you know what I'm saying? What does his work say? I know some of y'all gonna get into, what about the vibration? Some of you, because some of us deep, we metaphysically deep, and we looking for the underlying vibe. Well, what about the underlying vibe in those goddamn Doritos? Or the underlying vibe in the TV that you're watching, or the cigarette that you're smoking? Or how about you being so self-righteous that you don't do shit? How about the vibe in that super righteous shit that some of y'all practice? You don't do shit. You're so righteous, you don't do shit. There is a certain level of righteousness that becomes a sin, right? There's a certain level of righteousness that becomes a sin and turns and starts eating on itself. All right, so all right, I know it's tribal quotes. I ain't even introduced the damn show. This is Brother Hot Tim. Of course, you are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. The show that you listen to today is Tribal Quotes, and it's a Heart of a Simple production. And my only job is to change your paradigm, blow that shit up. All right. So anybody want to join the conversation, you can hit us up at 614-556-4535. The lines are open. The lines are now open. All right. So now, if you don't join us, I'm just going to run through these proverbs real quick because y'all know, the hustle has started for me and is real serious. All right. So the first proverb that I got jumping off today. Of course, I'm coming from the African Tree of Life. Those that had a book, go to turn to page 13, second verse. I'm sorry. All right. Put wisdom to work, and evil will flee you, say the knowledge holders. Respect for the law yields virtue. Disrespect yields limitation, the knowledge holders say. That was our one proverb. I'll come back to that. The next one. Rightness is the love of the first source. And the first source is in love with rightness, say the knowledge holders. I'll read that again in a second. And the last one. The secret to opening every door is in its bolt, say the knowledge holders. The bolt prescribes the exact medium. All right. So I'm going to start from the top. We're going to work our way down. All right. You ready? Put wisdom to work and evil will flee you. We'll stop right there, right? Many of us are putting knowledge to work. And because we're putting knowledge to work, we are not getting the full benefits. Why? Because knowledge is not wisdom as much as we want it to be, right? Wisdom takes into account the existence of other things. Knowledge oftentimes is just very focused, right? Wisdom looks at the connections to everything, right? Wisdom has this ability. Knowledge is very focused. It focuses on one thing. Even though people say that's what they want, that ain't what they really want. You know what I'm saying? We need to stay focused. But if we stay focused, we isolate the very thing that we're talking about. And by isolating it from everything else, you know what I'm saying, we don't truly get the full understanding. You can't really understand a spark plug without the rest of the end. You know what I'm saying? Spark plugs have their own purpose, but only within the whole thing called an engine. The engine is not just one thing. The engine is several different components that are all working together. Now, knowledge is knowing about the spark plug. Wisdom is understanding how the spark plug fit into the engine and why, right? All right. So put wisdom to work and evil will flee you. Evil can't stand wisdom. Why? Because wisdom can pick it out, because evil is good at hiding. Evil, like as they call it, for lack of a better terms, it likes being in the shadows, right? Wisdom is like a light that exposes evil. Evil does not like being exposed. It's sort of like evil is like a germ or a virus, because it can't stand the light, right? And when you bring wisdom into the room, evil flees. It has no choice, right? This is why, as tribes, as we build in tribes, we have to find truly wise individuals to put them around us. And being wise does not necessarily mean that the motherfucker is the most talkative person in the room. Wisdom takes a lot of observation. You know what I'm saying? So you have some of those people that are very observant. Like for example, I think it was Gabriel Prosser. Speaking of Nat Turner, Gabriel Prosser was said, I think it was him. I have to check with one of the historians out there. One of you historians out there, feel free to look it up. But it was a guy by the name of One-Eyed Jack. Either he was with Gabriel Prosser or what was the other guy's name? Because he led a Gabriel Prosser or all right, I'm gonna just say Gabriel Prosser right now because I can't remember the other gentleman. Because you had 3 major revolts that were basically documented in a big way. Gabriel Prosser's, then it was another guy. I don't know which one came first, and then it was Nat Turner's. You know what I'm saying? I mean, those were actually documented. But anyway, I think Gabriel Prosser may have had a guy by the name of One-Eyed Jack. And One-Eyed Jack would sit in the room when they would bring people in to be in their secret society. Now, I want y'all to listen to this shit, right? Nat Turner was a pastor. He had a congregation, and it was his congregation that rode with him. It was the seed of his congregation that was able to attract all those other people that went with them. Gabriel Prosser had a secret organization. You know what I'm saying? He had a secret organization where people would come and they would have to stand before this guy by the name of One-Eyed Jack, I think his name was. And One-Eyed Jack was a voodoo man that observed the individual, even though he couldn't see out of one eye, I guess. Or I think he might have been completely blind. And he would be able to tell about the person. And he would be able to sense whether the person was nervous or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So they would know how deep to let this person in. We need to surround ourselves with this. Our community is full of these, but we don't use them because we've been taught that shit is not real, that shit is not necessary, and we need to run our businesses just like the European. Straight-laced. We don't need no psychic women. You know what I'm saying? Just put those bitches in their place and get them to do the things that they're supposed to do. Listen, let me tell you something, y'all. Our culture took advantage of the psychic abilities of those in our families. Now, we knew that it was real strong with the women, but we knew sometimes men would have it too. And we use these abilities. We use these wisdom abilities because what does wisdom do? Wisdom allows you to predict. So if you could predict, if you could look at a situation you could predict, you could almost point out who's going to be the betrayer. You could almost point out what's going to go wrong because you putting all the pieces together and you're able to put the whole puzzle together. So evil can't hide from that. And since evil can't hide from that, it flees from wisdom. And it's able to flee from wisdom because wisdom is not in all places. So it can flee from wisdom in this group and go to another group and cause all types of fuckery and chicanery and hooliganism and bullshit like that. Just super fuckery. Fuckery. Y'all know these motherfuckers that hide and put on the head wraps and wear the kente cloth and got the necklaces and shit, and the motherfuckers is just so full of fuckery that if you was to put a match by them motherfuckers would erupt in flames. Nasty, fake ass motherfuckers, the motherfuckers that say Hotep better than anybody else. They might even have a little bit more of the language and shit. These motherfuckers got memories like it ain't nothing, but don't feel shit. Will fuck your wife and your husband. Don't give a fuck. We know them. Stab you in the back and sell you down the river for a dime. We need some wisdom, y'all. We need to start grabbing some of these elders and putting them out them homes, and let the sun shine, hit them on their head, and let them feel useful, and just wait for the wisdom to just start pouring out over us. Oh, baby, don't fuck with him. My grandmother used to be able to tell me about the person that I was bringing into the house before I got into the house. He ain't fart. What? She ain't fart. What? I'm just visiting I'm just stopping to get a goddamn sandwich on the way to Cleveland. And, like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Hey, and I wish I could say she was wrong. So, those of you that's been over my grandma's house and if you was welcomed in the house, right? You know what I'm saying? And she let you stay for an extended period of time. An extended period of time when my grandmother is 5 hours or more. Okay? You know that you got the nod of approval, right? John Fallar's ass came over and spent about a week and a half with me down there. You know what I'm saying? Immediate love, right? But hey, it is what it is. So wisdom. Evil flees out of the sight of wisdom, say the knowledge holders. Put wisdom to work and evil will flee. Now, most of us are not putting, like I said, we're not putting wisdom to work, right? We think wisdom needs to be pretty and put up on a shelf. Wisdom don't exist on a shelf. Knowledge sits well and looks good on the shelf, right? It's not there. So you got to understand, because like I said, we have scrolls and shit, right? But this whole book culture that we are living in is cool, right? But the books didn't take precedent over the living libraries, the living masters. You know what I'm saying? We wrote books according to the words of the masters. We wrote books to record the word of the masters, right? Where's that at now? Oh, no, we are masters now, right? We don't even acknowledge, very few of us have the ability to acknowledge masters even while they're alive. Fucks up our ego. That we have not, going back to the whole Gabby Douglas and Simone Biles discussion, right? Motherfuckers see that type of mastery, right? That's mastery. And what they talk about, they find something wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? That's some evil shit. That type of shit need to be called out. When you see that, you need to get away from it. Cause cause soon as you start to outshine them, they are going to do the same shit to you. Right? When you sitting with somebody and they look at somebody who has a certain level of mastery and they're hating on some superficial bullshit, right? What do you think they're doing with you when you're not around? Hating you on some superficial, that's evil. You need to start learning to use your wisdom. You need to start learning to listen to the wisdom of your ancestors. Listen to the voices and the echoes of your ancestors that's been left for us. You know what I'm saying? Learn and listen to. Listen to like, for example, this is an assignment. I want all of y'all, right? Whether you're listening to me live right now or whether you listen to me 50 years from now in the future, I want you to find a proverb that comes out of your family. See, I love African openings to the tree of life, right? I love this, right? But with some of these proverbs, my kids are going to remember hearing from me and think that I wrote them when in fact it came from this book. Right? But then they gonna also remember some shit that I might have came up with. Like my grandmother said some shit to me. I don't know if she came up with it. She said, look, listen, a baby always wants to sleep on the softest side of the pillow. I said, wow. It was about a whole situation. But when she dropped that on me, that shit fit right. Boom. Wow. Wow, me man. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Wow. I said, okay. And I know for a lot of y'all, you probably don't understand that, right? You probably don't understand that. And that's cool. I'm not mad, but what I'm saying is I got something to hang on from I got something to hang on that I got directly from me, right? And all of y'all, if you really listen to some of the elders in your family, you could pick up some wise words and you could pick up some major lessons that will save you some bumps that will cause evil to flee. Do you notice that, like you got some kids that just don't get fucked with? They could be little, they could be frail. Every now and then they might get a bump, but people just don't fuck with them. And you don't know, they could walk down gang infested neighborhoods. They just don't get, why? Could it be that those might be the ones that might be walking with wisdom? Do you not know that wisdom actually protects you by immersing yourself in wisdom? It protects you. It's like a coat of arms. But if you bathe in ignorance, if you bathe in stupidness, if you bathe in just knowledge and shit and think you got some shit and you could spout some shit off, right? And the shit is not wisdom. Oh man, you're gonna be caught up in fuckery. Sooner or later, the shit finds you. Because the evil is brewing within your circle. And the bigger you get, right? The whole time you was growing and blossoming, you got to understand that fucking evil was right there with you, brewing and blossoming. So when it hits you, the bigger you are, the bigger the fuckery gonna be. Because you didn't have wisdom to make that bullshit flee. All right. I have experienced it, right? I have experienced it. See, because because like I said, I take time to go sit with your elders, man. See, because yes, there are wise young individuals, but you motherfuckers is rare. And if you sitting here listening to me right now talking about I'm wise, and you about 15, 16, 17, 35, 45, you know what I'm saying? If wisdom usually chills with old folk, old motherfuckers that really have been through some shit. Right? A lot of you motherfuckers got knowledge. You can do a lecture, that's good. You got some knowledge. It don't take wisdom to do no motherfucking lecture and put on the show. It don't take no wisdom for that. Right? But then now, wisdom, lecture, motherfucker get up, he give you facts and shit like that, right? Right? But then it's certain individuals that they could give you the lecture and you not just get fed in your mind. There's something in you that's a little bit more satisfying. Because you can leave, if you just leave smarter, you need to be concerned. It's just really a wise motherfucker. Because I've been places where motherfuckers can talk, and they could talk, boy, and they could remember, and they could throw all this stuff out. But I'm trying to tell you, y'all need to really check this out, man. When I left with just something on my mind and nothing on my heart, I wasted my night. See, because as soon as I walked out the auditorium, that shit was gone. But this was certain other talkers, other speakers, man, it would resonate. Wisdom resonates. Knowledge flows through you. Wisdom resonates. It hits something, and it echoes in your soul. There's no echo with knowledge. You know what I'm saying? You got to use knowledge over and over again, and you got to use it. And like I said, you got to take it through the process that we call the process of learning in Gye-Nyame. You know what I'm saying? Memorize. And memorization, intelligence of the mind, intelligence of the heart. You got to memorize it. You got to make it your own. You know what I'm saying? In your mind, you got to work it and work it and work it and see it and start seeing it and applying it in your life and working with it. And then eventually, it's no longer somebody else's knowledge. It has now morphed into your knowledge. And now people can see it on you. And now that knowledge has slowly went from just something that you know to wisdom. All right, on to the next part. I might have to stop it with that one. I'm sorry. Respect for the law yields virtue. Now, I want y'all to understand when I say respect for the law, they have a capital L. A capital, usually when we use capitals, we're not talking about the laws of these little motherfuckers that's been fucking us over for the last 400 years. Not talking about those laws. Talking about those universal laws, right? Respect for the law yields virtue. Respect for the law yields virtue. Virtue. What is virtue? Some of y'all right now, we living in a marvelous time. Right now, right? I could go to my app. I'm going to walk y'all through the steps because I want you to learn how to do this. I could go to my app, right? And I could go to dictionary.com. That's one of my apps. I could push it and it'll spin and it'll pop up. And I could do something like this. Virtue. Let's get some knowledge on virtue. Virtue. Uh-huh. You're moving slow. Come on. I got people waiting. Ain't that right? Y'all waiting? I'm waiting too. Let's wait together. Virtue. Did you mean virtue? Yes, I do mean that. Yeah, I mean that. You know what I mean. All right. I guess I spelled virtue wrong, right? Virtue. Uh-oh. Did you know virtue is a noun? Virtue is a person, place, or thing. Which one is it? Person, place, or thing. Is virtue a person? Is it a place, or is it a thing? See, come on now. Hey, come on now. What is it? All right. Now, moral excellence, goodness, and righteousness. What this say? This damn thing said, hey, respect for the law yields virtue. It yields respect for the universal law, respect for the big L law yields virtue, which is moral excellence, goodness, righteousness. Also, conformity of one's life and conduct to moral and ethical principles, uprightness, rectitude. They even got chastity and virginity. Some of y'all ain't know nothing about chastity and virginity. Well, some of us don't know about that. You know what the hell I mean. A particular moral excellence, a good and admirable quality or property, effective force, power or potency. Effective force, power or potency. Did you know that virtue meant though? I want y'all to think about that. So, respect for the law yields virtue, effective force, power or potency, chastity or virginity, moral excellence, goodness, righteousness, uprightness, rectitude. Disrespect yields limitations. We limit ourselves when we start disrespecting the universal laws. Y'all hear me? We limit ourselves when we start disrespecting the laws. Respecting means always taking a second look. Look, we need to always have the laws present for us, right? What are some of the, there's many universal laws, right? What goes up must come down. We know that if we go up mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, we must come down. Respect for that law yields virtue. Can virtue lead you to wisdom? So by respecting the law, I could become wise. Because I know that if something go up, it must come down. This is a law. This, at least on this planet, that's a law. You can see it. It goes up, it goes down. You know what I'm saying? Light and dark cannot exist in the same space. Right? Light and dark cannot exist in the same space. There's certain universal laws. You don't need to be a genius to go out here and start looking for some of these universal laws and to start trying to show respect for them. So in just looking for them and re-looking for them, it yields virtue in our lives. Many of us don't even try to look for the laws of the universe. No, we ain't got time. We're looking for the laws of men. You're not looking for the universal laws. This is why shit is not working for you. Right? You don't give a fuck about truth, justice, righteousness, reciprocity, balance, order, and harmony. You know what I'm saying? You don't understand all is mine. Right? What is it? Control the thought. You're not trying to control your thoughts. Right? You're not obeying universal laws, the very laws that our ancestors have picked out of years of study. You can study them yourself. You go get it yourself, but you're going to come back and understand that your ancestors have already laid down the laws so that you don't have to necessarily go out there and bump your head to find them. They are already written down. Start applying this shit. I'm trying to tell you, man, this is why I'm trying to tell y'all, man. I'm trying to build a tribe. I ain't on no bullshit. I'm trying to build a tribe, right, that got these principles and acting on these principles and not acting on their dicks and their pussies, not acting on their greed, right? You know what I'm saying? Even the book, look, the book even broke down. Hold on. I got to find. Right? Oh my God. When they even talked about the 7 negatives: fear, envy, greed, sloth, lust and anger, greed, lust and anger. Y'all remember that one? Y'all got to remember that one, right? All the passions, fear, envy, pride, greed, sloth, lust, and anger are opposed to consciousness, say the knowledge holders. Right? We did that one. Y'all remember that, right? Right? All the passions, right? Fear, envy, pride, they are all opposed to consciousness, right? Part of being conscious is knowing these, part of being conscious is being aware of these laws, being able to see these laws. Your passions are stopping you. Your unbalanced passions, right? I'm gonna stop on this one. I'm not gonna go. I need to mark this. We're gonna stop right on this one, right? Because this one is worthy of our full attention for the few minutes that we have left. It's worthy. Give it a round of applause. So it's 8:24. We did this one on 8:24. We're gonna end it on this one. That was it. The respect for the law yields virtue. Disrespect yields limitation. When we disrespect the laws of the universe, when we disrespect the laws of the universe, we limit ourselves. It yields. The only thing it yields, the only thing that it produces is limitations. We think that we're getting over. We think that we're moving towards success. But in actuality, we are boxing ourselves in. Disrespect of the laws yields limitation. I need y'all to remember that. Black folks, are we limiting ourselves because we're disrespecting the laws of the universe? We're so focused on following the laws of these so-called oppressors. You know what I'm saying? We're studying white supremacy so much, and we're not studying the laws of the universe. We're showing white supremacy more respect than the laws of Ma'at. Right? Right? See, because if we truly understand these laws and we start allowing these laws to work for us by showing them respect, right? By showing them respect. See, because we talk about rules of success and rules of the game and shit like that. You niggas playing a game that was created by another motherfucker that learned it from us. They learned our shit and fucked up the rules, and you think that you could play the game and win, when in fact the game is rigged for you not to win. You playing somebody else's game. Fuck that. Let's play the game that we was winning at. Let's get back into universal law. I'm not talking about that sovereignty shit. I'm not, no disrespect. I'm not talking about that shit where they talk about the fringes around no, I'm talking about the universal laws that existed before America, that existed before Moors, that existed before Hebrews, that existed before the Egyptians, the universal laws that run this motherfucking universe. The laws that our ancestors laid down for us and built all the shit that we look at and all right now. They was able to build it because it says it right here. They was able to build it because they had respect for the law. We are caught up in these boxes, right? Because our disrespect has yielded limitations. Let's stop limiting ourselves. Let's start practicing and start learning to live by universal laws. Let's start building, fam. You know what I'm saying? Let's start building. It's not too late. It's not too late for us, right? Those out there, let's tribe up. I'm about to get up out of here, and I want to thank all those that took the time to tune in. I got a real feeling that there's a storm. My agents are letting me know that fuckery is afoot. You need to keep your eyes open. But remember, stop it so that you can hear this. Remember, put wisdom to work and evil will flee you. Put wisdom to work and evil will flee. You got a problem with a coworker? Put wisdom to work and evil will flee. You got a problem with a spouse? Put evil, it's evil. Put wisdom to work and evil will flee you. You got a problem with a neighbor? Put wisdom to work and evil will flee you. Right? Got problems saving money? Put wisdom to work and the evilness of brokenness will flee you. Put it to work, y'all. When the last time you sought advice from an elder? When the last time you had a divination? Or even gave yourself a divination? You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of y'all like, well, what that got to do with wisdom? All right, let me explain, and I'm done. There are 5 parts of the human being that we discuss in Gye-Nyame, I-M-E-S-P. The first one is an I. It's intuition. Intuition. Intuition is plugged into universal wisdom. By us honing our intuition, we have quicker access to wisdom. Now, what does divination work on? It works on us pulling on our intuition. It's not about, divination was never about predicting the future. That was Europeans, because Europeans fear the future. Because if you understand West Asia, West Asia is afflicted with the fear of death, and death is always in the future. Right? Death is if you're alive right now, death is in the future. You just need to know that. We accepted that, right? In our culture. We use divination to give us hints about what's going on around us. Because those shells or the cards, right? When you throw them down, certain patterns happen. Why? Because the thought is that the situations that are around you are affecting things and causing them to happen in a certain way. So when you ask for divination or you do the divination yourself, the energy that is afflicting you, the energy that is around you, the energy that is emanating from you is reaching out and hitting those shells, or reaching out and influencing the cards that you pick. And when you look at the cards and you look at the pattern, those that have intuition can look at those and be like, oh shit, this right here represent this. This represent that. Oh, that's a river right there that you picked. You know what I'm saying? And the river represents and oh yeah, the sky and the bird, right? You know what I'm saying? Or the stones that I threw. Look, they formed a triangle, right? And the triangle, blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? And the stone landed. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Boom, boom, boom. So they're able to read into your situation, not read your future. For us, it was never about that shit. Only scared motherfuckers is constantly, when will I die? I want to know the future. No, this is a marvelous adventure. Why fuck it up by knowing the future? It's marvelous. We accepted this eons ago. You need to get back into that. We need, we need to get back into that. Yo, this brother Hatim. I ain't gonna bore y'all anymore. I'd like to thank all those that took the time. And remember, the Gye-Nyame Journey is a proud consultant of Ambit Energy. Being a proud consultant of Ambit Energy, we would love for you to allow us to serve you and provide you with energy. For those that are interested, hit me up at 614-594-9422 or check us out on Facebook. Go to facebook.com/ G&J Energy. Okay? And you can click the button there and it will take you to our site where you can go on and sign up with us, or at least get information about how much you'd be paying for electricity or gas if that's what you got where you are. You know what I'm saying? And some of you may want to take advantage of the opportunity to become a consultant yourself. I'm just asking that if you do that up under Gye-Nyame. Allow us to benefit from the work that you're going to do and allow us to benefit from serving you. All right? This is Brother High Tim saying peace. Thanks to those that are listening now and in the future. With that, I say peace. Uh-oh, news popped up. Hold on. All right, nothing good. All right, peace. I'm out.